Okay, we're having all the fun here. So anyway, on the back of the bumper here. Uh, so I got all this put back together, and this right rear root speaker still didn't work. So thankfully they hadn't put the guard over it yet, the cover. And so I took it back out. When I was kind of fooling with it, I noticed it was cutting in and out. So looked a little closer. If the camera's gonna try it this way, maybe. Maybe this way, maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. All right, well, you see that nearest wire there? It's fraying, and there's not much left of it. For some reason, it just decided to rot away. So that's probably what the problem is with this thing not working all the time. So I'm going to try to, I'm going to make an attempt to repair that. I don't know if I'll be successful. I'm not the world's best at soldering anyway, but I'm going to try to brace that up and see if I can get it going, because I don't want to have to go back to the junkyard again just for that. I was going to get one of those, but you know, I tested it, it worked, so I assumed it was good. So we'll try to fix it. If we can't fix it, I guess we'll be going back to the junkyard. Okay, so you know when you watch Wes Works videos and he gets to the point where he goes well, that's where I'm at. So I've spent the past hour or so off and on dealing with this factory radio, and I'm doing this for two reasons. Because number one, I don't like to be defeated by something like that I know I can make work, and number two, the factory radio in here sounds a whole lot better than the aftermarket that they had in there. And the third reason, actually I didn't say three, but the third reason is I like the factory radio better. It's easier to use. I'm too old. I don't know. I don't like saying too old, but I'm just not interested. Let's just put it that way. Or I don't want to. Let's just be simple about it. I don't want to thumb through and push all these darn buttons. Go to this menu, go up in here, come back, just to turn the fader and the bass and all that crap. Not interested. I'm not doing it. So here's where we're at with this. This is what I did. I dealt with that speaker back there. I fixed that one temporarily. And I say temporarily because I'm not going to keep using that. And so I plugged the factory radio back in and just let it play out here. And I went in the house and sat down and drank some tea. And I came back out about 30 minutes later and it had shut off again. So I thought, okay. So anyway, I went back in and poked around on the internet trying to get an idea about this. I kept seeing that thing about somebody said a shorted speaker. And you know, every once in a while, you wade through all this crap on the internet and you find someone that knows what they're talking about. So I finally did. I felt like the guy says you need to take a multimeter, which I have one, and you need to go to your radio harness, which is that, and you need to test each feed to the speakers for a ground, which means I hook up one side of the multimeter to ground of the vehicle, and I just probed each of the 4 speaker terminals going out to the speakers on this thing, speakers, to see if I have a dead short to ground somewhere. That's not supposed to be doing that anywhere. It's not ever supposed to be ground. It should get nothing. And I did get nothing until I got to the left rear, which is back there. There it is. You know where this is going, probably. But got to the left rear channel, and I got a absolute dead ground on the left, that circuit, both the positive and the negative side of the speaker inputs or circuits, has it well may be. So the next thing I did was came over here. The amp on these lives under the driver's seat. It's right here. So those 2 speakers are tied in to the amp, and so I just unplugged it. There it is. And so I took the amp out of the equation, and I went back up to what I had set up here, up to the wiring harness, the radio harness, probed it again. Beep. So that told me right away that my problem was not with the amp. So the only thing I figured it could be was back here. Check this out. does a lot trying to focus on this, does it? It's not going to do it. Well, anyway, I've been waiting to say this. But there's your problem, lady. So what's going on is, since somebody had the music, had the tunes pumping in here, they're listening to some hot stuff. And it apparently was more than this. Let me try something here. It was apparently more than this radio could take. So it is not having that. Dadgum you. I hate you. Anyway, take my word for it. That's a dead short. It's the wires are fraying. The wires into the speaker itself are fraying apart, and they're hitting the frame of the speaker, which is bolted into the truck. Now, what I can do now is probably I could play. Well, I guess I could, but I could probably do it again, and it would not do that since these are off the truck. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just clip those little frayed sections there off this, and then I'm going to give this thing another test. I'm going to let it run for another radio play for another 30 minutes, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't shut off again, that's the problem. But I can tell you that's the problem right there. So that's what this one did. So I'm not even going to mess with these speakers. I'm not going to go to the junkyard and get any more, I don't think. I don't know. We'll see. But if I can find some good ones, I may. Here's the thing that holds me up from getting aftermarket speakers is because you have to adapt the harness into it. So I'll poke around so I can come up with. But come on, Mexico. So let me do that, and I'll give this thing another test, and we'll see what our verdict is. But yeah, that's if you're ever trying to diagnose some crazy factory radio problems in these old rides, these old SUVs like this, and I'm cutting on and off and all that kind of stuff, apparently go back and look at the speakers, because that's not a blown speaker. That is just a fraying speaker, I guess. For the wires are fraying. Crazy. Okay, so I thought I would try to show you a better picture of what's going on with this speaker. That wasn't too clear without hanging up this cameras. The cameras don't like that. That's why people hold their hands behind what they're trying to film, because the camera cannot decide if it wants to focus on what's in the distance or what's up close, so you have to sort of fool it sometimes. But here's the thing. Like I said, this lead, and it's only been one lead. I don't know whatever A or B, if that's probably maybe the positive, maybe it's getting hot, I don't know what, but both of them did that. They frayed apart, and the frayed wire is hitting the frame of the speaker, which is a ground. So okay, that's what it was. Well, that's what was happening. We're going to test this now and see if it's the real deal. Okay, we're going to give it 30 more minutes.
Station, Jimbo and Casio, mornings on your rock station.
I think my wife signed me up for a 5K.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Okay, so according to the clock in the radio, this thing the radio ran for 46 minutes and didn't go off. So I'm confident that was our whole issue. So once again, if you're having some problems with one of these radios going off, it's remaining on, the unit's remaining on, and it looks like it's functioning, but there's no sound. Just going along, the sound goes off abruptly. Especially if you've been hearing some stuff out of these speakers that sounds like they're not doing too well, then chances are they're probably not doing too well. So this one, again, was fraying apart. I've never seen that happen before, but I'm sure anything's possible. But the wires are just fraying apart, and when they fray, they hit the frame of the speaker. Of course, they're up in the roof there, so you don't see that happening. So I don't know if I'm going to try to take my chances on a couple of used speakers. I already said that. I don't know yet. I'm going to see if I can just find some. I've seen some factory replacements. I mean, the factory like over the service counter replacements for these, I think. I look for those if they're not too costly. If they are too costly, I'll do something else, but I'll sure let you know. So this is going to be, I think I'm going to split this video out of the series on this that I'm doing already. So when you're watching that video, you will know that I had fixed this. I will mention that to you. But that's how I fixed it. The fix will be 2 speakers. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask. See you around.